In the village of Odara, everyone knew Headmaster Adewale. Everyone, from the old women who sold vegetables by the roadside, to the fishermen near the river, to the children who ran barefoot through dusty paths after school. If someone mentioned his name in the market, people usually smiled. Headmaster Adewale? That man has a good heart. God bless him. He's different. And they had reasons for saying it. For years, Adewale had dedicated his life to helping people. He wasn't rich. He didn't own the biggest farm in the village or drive expensive cars like some wealthy men from nearby towns. But what he had, he shared. When a farmer couldn't afford school fees, Adewale quietly paid them. When children lacked books, he bought books. When widows struggled to eat, food somehow appeared at their doors. He never announced these things. Never bragged. Never expected anything back. He simply believed education could change lives. And because of that, people respected him. Every morning before sunrise, children could be seen walking toward the village school with excitement in their eyes. Not because school was easy, not because homework was fun, but because Headmaster Adewale made them feel important. He knew every student's name, every face, every dream. You want to become a doctor? He would ask one child. Study hard. You want to become an engineer? Good. The future belongs to people who don't give up. The children loved him. The parents trusted him. And his family adored him. His wife, Funk, often laughed at him whenever he came home carrying extra bags of rice or school materials. Adewale, she would say while shaking her head, one day you'll give away everything inside this house. And Adewale would laugh. God always provides. Their home wasn't grand, but it was warm. A place filled with laughter, filled with life. Their two children, Saad and little Tunde, filled every corner with noise. Saad loved reading stories beneath the mango tree in their compound. Tunde preferred climbing trees and returning home covered in dirt while pretending nothing had happened. Every evening, neighbors often stopped by. Some came for advice. Some came for help. Some simply came because being around Adewale made problems feel smaller. Life in Odara moved peacefully. Until the day everything changed. It happened on a Thursday. The sky looked strange from morning. Dark clouds gathered slowly above the village. The air felt heavy. Even the birds seemed quieter than usual. By afternoon, market women began packing their goods. Farmers hurried home. Children ran through the streets shouting, "Rain is coming!" The wind arrived first. Strong, cold. Leaves danced wildly through the air. Doors slammed. Windows rattled. Then the rain began. Not ordinary rain. Heavy rain. The kind that swallowed roads and turned paths into rivers of mud. People rushed indoors. Within minutes, the village became silent. Only the sound of rain remained. Inside his house, Adewale sat beside his family. Funk poured hot tea into cups while Tunde stared outside excitedly. "Can I go out?" Tunde asked. Funk turned immediately. "Go where?" "Outside." "To swim?" No. Tunde said innocently. Saad burst into laughter. "He's lying." Tunde frowned. "I'm not." "You are." "I am not." Adewale smiled and shook his head. "Peace. Simple peace." And knock. Everyone looked toward the door. Funk frowned. Who could be outside in this weather? Knock. Knock. The sound came again. Louder this time. Adewale stood up slowly. Outside, rain continued pouring heavily. "Stay here," he said. He walked toward the door. For some reason, a strange feeling touched him. Not fear exactly, just something he couldn't explain. When he reached the door, he hesitated, then opened it, and froze. Standing outside in the rain was a young woman. She looked barely older than 20. Her clothes were soaked completely. Mud covered her feet. Wet strands of hair clung to her face. She held a small cloth bag tightly against her chest. For a moment, nobody spoke. Rainwater dripped from her fingers. Her lips trembled slightly. Not from cold alone. From exhaustion. From fear. Funk stepped closer behind her husband. "Who is she?" The girl slowly raised her eyes. There was sadness inside them. The kind of sadness that looked real. "Please," she whispered. Her voice was barely audible beneath the rain. "I need help." Adewale looked at her carefully. "Who are you?" For a few seconds she said nothing. Then, "My name is Zainab." She swallowed hard. My parents are gone. I came from another village. I have nowhere else to go. Silence. Rain continued falling. Funk looked at the girl, then at her husband. The girl looked frightened, lost, broken. Adewale had seen that look before. Children abandoned by relatives. Families destroyed by hardship. People with nowhere to turn. Please, she whispered again. I can cook. I can clean. I can work. I just need somewhere to stay. Funk's face softened. Adewale looked at his wife. His wife looked back at him. No words were needed. Finally, Adewale stepped aside and smiled gently. Come inside. The girl stared at him, almost like she couldn't believe what she had heard. Then slowly, she walked through the gate. And at that exact moment, far away from Odara village, inside a large mansion sitting alone on a hill, a man sat in darkness. Lightning flashed across his face. Chief Balogun. His eyes fixed on a phone screen. A message appeared. I'm inside. Slowly, a smile spread across his face. Then he whispered, the game begins. The next morning, the rain had disappeared. Sunlight stretched across Odara village as if the storm had never happened. Birds sang from tree branches. Women swept their compounds. Children ran through narrow paths with school bags bouncing against their backs. Inside Headmaster Adewale's house, the day had already begun. Funk walked into the kitchen and suddenly stopped. She blinked, then blinked again. The kitchen was spotless. The pots had been washed and arranged neatly. The floor had been swept. Fresh water had been fetched. And breakfast was already cooking. Funk stood frozen. What? She whispered. She turned and saw Zainab standing beside the fire. The young woman smiled softly. Good morning, Ma. Funk stared at her. You did all this? Zainab nodded. I woke up early. I didn't want to be a burden. Funk looked around in disbelief. Normally, she woke before everyone. Normally, she was the first person moving around the house. But somehow this girl had already done nearly half the morning work. A few moments later, Adewale entered, adjusting his shirt before leaving for school. He stopped immediately. Tunde ran in behind him. Asterisk food, he shouted. Saad laughed. You only think about food. Because food is important. Everyone sat down to eat. The atmosphere felt warm, comfortable. Even Tunde, who usually complained about every meal, ate quietly. Halfway through breakfast, he suddenly looked up. Auntie Zainab? Asterisk, yes, she asked. Can you make puff puff? Saad burst into laughter. Funk shook her head. Look at this boy. What? Tunde said innocently. I'm just asking. Zainab smiled. Yes. Tunde's eyes widened. Really? Yes. Can you make meat pie? Yes. Can you make... Asterisk, finish your food, Funk interrupted. Everyone laughed. Everyone except Zainab. For only a second, her smile faded, then returned again, too quickly for anyone to notice. Days passed, then weeks, and slowly, Zainab became part of the family. She worked hard, very hard. She cleaned, cooked, fetched water, helped Saad with chores, even assisted Tunde with homework whenever Adewale was busy. The villagers began noticing her too. At the market, women whispered, Headmaster found a good girl. She's respectful, very hardworking. God sent her. Zainab always smiled politely whenever she heard such things. But at night, when everyone slept, something changed. Every night, she waited. Waited until the house became completely silent. Waited until she heard only crickets outside and distant dogs barking. Then she would quietly sit up, carefully, slowly, without making a sound. She would reach beneath her mattress and pull out a small phone, not the old type villagers used, a newer one, hidden from everyone. She stared at the screen. A message had arrived. Report progress. Her eyes darkened. Her fingers hesitated. Then she typed, They trust me now. A few seconds passed. Then another message appeared. Good. Begin phase 2. She stared at those words. Longer than usual. Her fingers hovered over the screen. Then slowly, understood. She switched off the phone. But sleep didn't come immediately. Because something inside her felt strange. Something uncomfortable. She pushed the feeling away. This was work. Nothing more. Just work. Nothing more. The following week, the strange incidents began. Small things at first. Very small. Almost too small to notice. One teacher walked into Adewale's office looking confused. "Sir." "Yes. The attendance records are missing." Adewale frowned. "Missing? I left them here yesterday. Maybe you misplaced them." The teacher scratched his head. "Maybe." Adewale didn't think much about it. People forgot things. Mistakes happened. Life continued. Then 2 days later, another teacher rushed into his office. "Headmaster, what happened?" "The examination papers." "What about them?" "They're gone." Adewale stood immediately. "Gone." The teacher nodded anxiously. "I locked them in the cabinet yesterday." Adewale walked over and checked himself. Nothing. The papers had disappeared. His forehead tightened. That was strange. Very strange. Still, he tried staying calm. "Search everywhere. We'll find them." But they didn't. The papers were nowhere. Not in classrooms. Not in offices. Nowhere. Soon whispers started. Quiet whispers. Small whispers. The kind that move slowly from one person to another. How can important papers disappear? Inside a school? Twice. Something isn't right. Adewale heard them, but ignored them. People talked. That was normal. Until things became worse. 3 days later, one parent arrived at school angry. Very angry. "Headmaster." Adewale looked up. "Good afternoon." "Don't greet me." Everyone nearby turned. The man's face burned with anger. "Why are you collecting extra money from parents?" Adewale blinked. "Extra money? Don't pretend." "People are talking. They said you increased fees secretly." Confusion covered Adewale's face. "Who told you this?" "Everyone is saying it." Everyone. That word again. Everyone. By evening, the whispers had spread across Odara. At the market. At the river. Near roadside stalls. People were talking. "Did you hear? About Headmaster? I don't know if it's true. But they say something strange is happening." That night, Adewale returned home looking tired. Very tired. Funk noticed immediately. "What's wrong?" He sat down slowly. "I don't know. Things feel strange. People are saying things that aren't true." Funk sat beside him. "It will pass. People always talk." He nodded. But deep down, something didn't feel right. Across the room, Zainab quietly served dinner. Her face remained calm. Expressionless. Invisible. No one noticed her eyes briefly lowering to the floor. No one noticed the guilt that flashed across them. And later that night, after everyone slept, she pulled out the phone again. A new message waited. "Excellent progress." Then another message appeared. "Soon they will suspect him." For the first time, Zainab did not reply immediately, because for some reason, as she looked toward the sleeping family around her, her hands began to shake. The following days felt different, not only inside Headmaster Adewale's home, but throughout the entire village of Odara. Something invisible had changed. The warm greetings became shorter, the smiles became weaker, and the whispers became louder. At first, Adewale tried pretending not to notice. He told himself people were only confused. Rumors came and went. Truth always found its way back. At least that was what he believed. But every day seemed to bring a new problem. One Monday morning, Adewale walked into the school compound carrying his usual brown leather bag. Children greeted him immediately. "Good morning, Headmaster." "Good morning, sir." He smiled. "Good morning, children." But something felt strange. Very strange. Teachers standing near the staff room suddenly lowered their voices as he passed. 2 women near the school fence stopped talking completely. A man who normally greeted him every morning simply looked away. Adewale slowed his steps. For a moment, confusion crossed his face. Then he kept walking. Inside his office, he sat quietly. He stared out through the window. Something wasn't right. Something was very wrong. A knock came at the door. "Come in." Teacher Samuel entered. But unlike his usual cheerful self, he looked uncomfortable. "Sir." "Yes." Samuel scratched the back of his neck. "Some parents came this morning." "Okay. They want explanations." Adewale frowned. "Explanations for what?" Samuel swallowed. People are saying school money has been disappearing. Silence. Adewale stared at him. What? And Samuel hesitated. People are also saying you have been collecting money secretly from parents. Adewale slowly stood. Samuel, you know me. Do you believe that? Samuel immediately looked down. No, sir. But his voice lacked confidence. And Adewale noticed. For the first time, fear touched him. Real fear. Because rumors from strangers hurt. But doubt from people close to you? That hurt differently. That evening, he returned home looking exhausted. Funk noticed immediately. You're worrying again. Adewale sighed deeply. Something is happening. I don't understand it. Every day there is another story. Funk sat beside him. People know who you are. You've spent years helping them. No rumor can destroy that. Adewale looked at her, then forced a smile. You're right. But he wasn't convinced. Across the room, Zainab quietly folded clothes. Her face remained calm. Her eyes stayed down. But inside, her chest tightened, because she knew exactly what was happening. And she knew things were about to become much worse. Later that night, long after everyone had gone to sleep, she reached beneath her mattress, pulled out the hidden phone, and stared at the new message waiting for her. Phase 3 begins tomorrow. Her heartbeat quickened. Then another message appeared. Take the money. She froze. Her eyes widened. For several seconds she simply stared. Then she typed, That's dangerous. The response came almost instantly. Do it. Or remember what happens if you fail. Zainab's fingers slowly tightened around the phone. Her breathing became uneven. Images flashed through her mind. Chief Balogun's face. His cold eyes. His warnings. And suddenly, fear won. The next morning began normally. Too normally. Children arrived at school laughing. Teachers moved between classrooms. Lessons started. Everything looked peaceful. Until shortly after noon, a scream suddenly came from the administrative office. Headmaster! Headmaster! Teachers rushed outside. Students turned. People began gathering. Adewale quickly ran toward the office. What happened? The school accountant stood shaking, pale, terrified. The money, the emergency funds, they're gone. Silence. Adewale stared. What? All of it? Every single naira. His face drained of color. No. He rushed to the cabinet, opened it, checked inside. Nothing. The envelope was gone. Completely gone. For a moment, nobody spoke. Nobody moved. Then voices began. How? Who had access? Impossible. The office was locked. Within an hour, news had spread beyond the school. By afternoon, the entire village knew. And by evening, chaos had arrived. People gathered outside the school gates. Angry voices filled the air. Parents shouted. Men argued. Women whispered loudly. That money belonged to the children. Who took it? Who else could it be? Headmaster had access. Maybe the rumors were true. Adewale stood near the entrance, staring at faces he had known for years. Faces that once smiled at him. Faces that now looked at him with suspicion. Listen to me, he shouted. The crowd grew quieter. I did not take any money. I swear. I would never steal from these children. But the silence that followed felt wrong. Because nobody looked convinced. Nobody. Not even people he trusted. Then from somewhere inside the crowd. Liar. Another voice joined. Thief. Then another. We trusted you. And suddenly the crowd exploded. Thief. 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 Adewale stood frozen. His body felt numb. His mind couldn't understand what was happening. It felt unreal. Like a nightmare. That night, the house was silent. Painfully silent. Nobody laughed during dinner. Nobody talked. Even Tunde sat quietly. Funk's eyes looked swollen. She had been crying. Adewale barely touched his food. Outside, villagers still gathered in small groups whispering. The rumors had become poison. And poison spread fast. Hours later, after everyone slept, Tunde suddenly opened his eyes. He wasn't sure why. Maybe it was a sound. Maybe a feeling. But something had woken him. Slowly, he sat up. Then frowned. Because down the hallway, he saw movement. A shadow. Someone walking quietly toward the back door. Tunde rubbed his eyes, looked again, and his heart skipped. It was Zainab. She looked around carefully, then disappeared into the darkness outside. Tunde stared at the door, confused, very confused, because this wasn't the first time he had seen her do it. Tunde lay still on his bed. His eyes remained fixed on the door. For several seconds, he didn't move. Maybe he was imagining things. Maybe Zainab had simply gone outside to fetch something. Maybe she couldn't sleep. But then he remembered something. This wasn't the first time. A few nights earlier, he had woken briefly and seen movement in the hallway. Another night, he had heard the back door open and close softly. At first he ignored it. Adults did strange things sometimes. But now something felt wrong. Very wrong. Especially after everything happening to his father. Tunde slowly sat up. His heart beat harder than usual. He looked towards Sada's sleeping mat. She was asleep. His parents' room was quiet. Everyone else was sleeping. He glanced toward the door again, then swallowed. "Just look," he whispered to himself. "Only look." Carefully, he climbed out of bed. His bare feet touched the cold floor. He moved slowly, very slowly, trying not to make noise, trying not to breathe too loudly. He stepped into the hallway. The house was dark except for faint moonlight entering through the windows. The back door stood slightly open. Tunde's eyes widened. Cold air drifted inside. She really went outside. For one moment, he almost returned to bed. Almost. But curiosity pushed harder than fear. So he slipped through the doorway. Outside, Odara village slept under pale moonlight. The night felt strangely quiet. No voices. No movement. Only crickets singing in distant bushes. Ahead of him, Tunde saw a figure walking quickly between shadows. Zainab. She moved fast, as if she knew exactly where she was going. Tunde followed, keeping distance, keeping quiet. He hid behind trees whenever she looked around. Branches scratched his arms. Dry grass touched his legs. His heartbeat felt so loud he feared she would hear it. Soon they moved beyond familiar houses, beyond farms, beyond places where people usually walked at night. Tunde frowned. "Where is she going?" he whispered. Then he saw it. An old hut. Small, broken, abandoned years ago near the edge of the forest. Children avoided the place. Villagers said strange animals sometimes hid there. Zainab walked toward it without hesitation, then disappeared inside. Tunde stopped immediately. Fear rushed through him. His legs suddenly felt weak. The hut looked darker than everything around it. Like moonlight itself refused to touch it. He stared. For a few moments, nothing happened. Then, light. A faint lantern glow appeared through a crack in the wooden wall. And voices. Someone was inside. Tunde moved closer. Slowly. Very slowly. His feet barely touched the ground. He crouched beneath a window covered with broken wooden boards. Then carefully looked through a narrow opening. And instantly froze. His entire body became cold. Chief Balogun sat inside. Tunde recognized him immediately. Everyone in Odara knew Chief Balogun. Rich, powerful, feared. But Tunde didn't understand. Why was Zainab meeting him? Inside the hut, Zainab stood silently with her head lowered. Chief Balogun smiled. A smile that made Tunde uncomfortable. "You've done well," he said. Zainab said nothing. The villagers already suspect Adewale. Soon nobody will trust him anymore. Tunde's eyes widened. Adewale? His father? Chief Balogun leaned back. Very soon, everything he built will collapse. His reputation, his school, his family. Tunde felt his breathing stop. Family? Chief Balogun continued speaking. After that, we'll destroy the rest. Destroy? Tunde stared in disbelief. His small mind struggled to understand what he was hearing. Destroy his family? Why? Why would anyone do that? Inside the hut, Zainab finally spoke. Her voice sounded weak. "You've already ruined his name. Isn't that enough?" Chief Balogun's expression changed instantly. The smile disappeared. "Enough." His voice turned cold. "Dangerous. Did you forget why you're here?" Silence. Zainab lowered her eyes. Chief Balogun stood slowly. "That man embarrassed me. He humiliated my son. He made people laugh at my family. Now he will lose everything." Tunde's heart pounded wildly. Suddenly everything made sense. The missing papers, the rumors, the stolen money. Zainab caused everything. Tears formed in his eyes. Why? Why would she do this? His family had helped her, fed her, loved her. Tunde slowly stepped backward. He needed to tell his father. Immediately. He needed to go home. Now, 1 step, 2 steps, and crack. The sound exploded through the night. Tunde froze. His eyes dropped. A dry branch lay beneath his foot. Silence. Inside the hut, every voice stopped. Every movement stopped. Slowly, very slowly, Chief Balogun turned toward the window. Then Zainab turned too. Her eyes widened instantly. Someone's outside, she whispered. Tunde's heart nearly stopped. No. No. Inside the hut, chairs scraped against the floor. Footsteps moved quickly. Chief Balogun's face darkened. Go, he shouted. Find them. The door burst open. Tunde didn't think, didn't breathe, didn't look back. He ran. Fast. Very fast. Branches slapped his face. Bushes scratched his skin. Tears blurred his eyes. Behind him he heard shouting. Footsteps. More than one. Much more. There. Catch him. Don't let him escape. Fear exploded inside him. He ran harder. Faster. His legs burned. His chest hurt. But he didn't stop. Because for the first time in his life, Tunde realized something terrifying. People weren't chasing him. They were hunting him. Tunde ran as if the entire world was chasing him. Because it was. His legs pounded against the dirt road. His chest burned. His lungs felt like they were on fire. Branches slapped his face. Sharp thorns scratched his arms and legs. But he didn't stop. He couldn't stop. Behind him, the voices were getting closer. He's heading toward the village. Don't let him escape. Catch him. Tunde's heart slammed wildly against his chest. Tears blurred his eyes. He stumbled over a rock and crashed hard onto the ground. Pain shot through his knees. For a second, panic swallowed him. No. Not now. He pushed himself up immediately. His hands trembled. He looked back. Dark figures moved between the trees. Coming closer. Much closer. Fear exploded inside him. Then suddenly, he saw lights ahead. Village lights. Tunde gathered every bit of strength left inside him and ran. Past houses. Past sleeping compounds. Past barking dogs. Until finally, he saw the gate. His gate. Daddy. He pushed through the entrance. Daddy. Inside the house, lights immediately came on. Doors opened. Footsteps hurried. Adewale rushed out first. Tunde. His eyes widened. Jesus. Tunde looked terrible. His clothes were torn. Mud covered his body. Blood ran down one arm. Funk screamed. What happened? Saad ran out behind her. Tunde could barely breathe. He bent over, gasping for air. His body shook uncontrollably. Adewale grabbed his shoulders. Talk to me. What happened? Tunde looked up. Tears rolled down his face. Then he pointed toward the house, toward the hallway, toward Zainab, because she had stepped outside too. Her face looked pale, very pale. Daddy. Tunde pointed with shaking fingers. It's her. Silence. Everyone froze. Zainab stared at him. Adewale frowned. What? I saw her. Tunde shouted. I followed her. I saw everything. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Tunde pointed again. She's working with Chief Balogun. Funk blinked. What? They're the ones doing everything. The money. The lies. Everything. Silence. Heavy silence. Adewale looked at Zainab slowly, then back at Tunde. Confusion filled his face, because none of it made sense. Not Zainab. Not the girl they had taken in. Not the girl they had trusted. Tunde. Adewale said gently, You're scared. Maybe you saw something wrong. No. Tunde's voice cracked. I'm telling the truth. He looked desperately at everyone. I heard them. Chief Balogun said he wanted to destroy our family. Adewale stared. Funk stared. Saad stared. Then slowly, everyone turned towards Zainab. And for the first time since arriving at the house, She looked afraid. Real fear. Not pretend. Real. Zainab, Adewale asked quietly. What is he talking about? She said nothing. Zainab. Still nothing. Only silence. Then suddenly, someone began knocking loudly at the gate. Bang, bang, bang. Everyone jumped. Voices followed. Many voices. Villagers. Headmaster. Come outside. Come outside. Adewale frowned. He walked toward the gate and opened it. Dozens of villagers stood outside. Some held lanterns. Others looked angry. Very angry. Teacher Samuel stepped forward. Headmaster. They found something. Adewale's forehead tightened. Found what? Samuel swallowed. Messages. A man stepped forward holding a phone. A phone. Everyone looked confused. Then Tunde's eyes widened. Asterisk, the hut, he shouted suddenly. I took it. Everyone stared at him. Tunde quickly reached into his pocket. With shaking hands, he pulled out another phone. Small. Black. Covered in dirt. I grabbed it when I ran. Nobody had even noticed. Not even Tunde himself. During the panic. During the chaos. During the struggle. He had grabbed Chief Balogun's phone from beside the lantern. Adewale took it slowly. The screen was cracked, but still working. He opened it and froze. Messages. Hundreds of messages. Photos. Instructions. Plans. Everything. Every missing document. Every rumor. Every payment sent to Zainab. Every conversation with Chief Balogun. Everything. Silence spread through the crowd. Complete silence. People stared. Faces changed. Confusion became shock. Shock became anger. Then someone whispered. Headmaster was innocent. Another voice. We accused him. Another. Oh God. Suddenly the crowd erupted. Where's Chief Balogun? Find him. He lied to us. He used us. People began running, shouting. Chaos exploded across Odara. Meanwhile, Zainab stood perfectly still. Tears filled her eyes. Adewale slowly turned toward her. The pain in his face hurt more than anger. Why? Just one word. Why? Zainab stared at him. Then suddenly, she broke. Her knees hit the ground. Tears rolled down her face. I'm sorry. Her voice shook violently. I'm sorry. Nobody spoke. I needed money. Chief Balogun found me. He promised to help me. I thought. She started crying harder. I thought I was only hurting one man. I didn't know. She looked at Adewale, at Funk, at Tunde. I didn't know I was destroying a family. Silence. The night fell heavy. Hours later, Chief Balogun was captured trying to leave the village. His lies were exposed. His plans destroyed. And slowly, very slowly, Headmaster Adewale's name was cleared. But years later, people in Odara still remembered what happened, because they learned something they would never forget. Sometimes, the most dangerous enemies don't break down your door. They wait for you to invite them in.